Hello and welcome to the best and the worst books of 2022. Most people on BookTube do two separate videos, one that is the best books and one that is the worst, but I don't have that many books to talk about, so I just do it in one video. So I have sort of 5 books for each thing, so 5 best, 5 worst ish. There's actually one more on each side. There's 6, but it's gonna make sense when I get to them. They're like in the same category, so I count it as one basically. Let's just get straight into it. The books are in an order for once. I have chosen some sort of order, even though they're technically the same because they are the best and they are the worst, but we'll get to that. So the best books. In 5th place of the best books is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. Random because it's a TikTok book, but I really enjoyed it. We follow Rowan and Zara. I'm gonna call her Zara even though there are 2 ways to say her name. Rowan owns this theme park. He's a successful rich man, and his grandfather left him a letter when he died, which he can only keep and have his share of the inheritance if he finds the problem and solves the problem of the park, aka Disneyland, but it's fine. And then we have Zara, who randomly sends in a drunk post, I don't know what it is exactly, I've forgotten, criticizing a ride in the park, and because of that he decides to hire her to help him solve the problem. I really love this. I wasn't expecting greatness, but this was so fun. It's really entertaining. I really like the characters. The side characters are fun too. I just really enjoyed it, and yeah. It's also spicy, for those who didn't know. In 4th place, we have The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. In this, we follow 2 people again. It's a romance, it's always 2 people. We follow Jess and River. Jess is, I don't really remember because I read this in January, a year ago. But she enrolls in this DNA testing, Tinder, what is it called? Dating app thing, which uses your DNA, and the person who created that company is called River, Dr. River something, and they get matched up with a 98% or something compatibility, which is amazing. So they decide to fake date in order to promote the app and also to test if that theory is correct. I love this. Again, obviously I'm going to say this a lot. I really loved the romance. The plot was great. The main character, the woman Jess, has a daughter who is really cute too. I just really liked it. It was fun, and I love Christina Lauren books, so this was another one. In 3rd, I have 2 books because they go together, and they are the first 2 books in the Brown Sisters trilogy by Talia Hibbert. The 3rd one does not fit in this. I loved these 2. They are equally loved by me. I gave them both 5 stars. I forgot to mention, those 2 books are 4.5 stars each. I gave both of these 5 stars, loved them, so great, so fun. The first one has one of the things in books that I love, which is a scavenger hunt or a list that somebody wants to complete. This has that. Loved it. They're also kind of enemies to lovers-ish, and this one is fake dating, so I really enjoyed these. They were so fun. If you've never heard of these, this one is about a girl called Chloe who has disability, chronic illness, I think, and she decides that her life is boring, so she wants to spice it up a little bit and creates a list for that. She wants to enjoy a drunken night out, ride a motorbike, go camping, have meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable sex, travel the world with nothing but hand luggage, and do something bad. So she decides she wants to complete that list, and she asks for the help of her, I think it's not landlord, but I don't remember. It's a guy who fixes stuff. I don't know, I don't remember if it's landlord or not, but his name is Red, and he decides to help her. And this one is about Danny that it works at a university, I think. I don't really remember what her job was, but I think it was a teacher, and the security guard where she works, his name is Zaf, Turns out that he is an ex, like, super famous rugby player or some sport. I don't know sports. And one day, Zaf saves Danny from like a fake fire drill in the school, and they become viral on the internet, so they fake date. I love these. Read them if you haven't. In second place is the only fantasy book, and surprisingly a 4.5 when those two were 5 stars, but it is Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton. I really enjoyed this. It wasn't a full 5 stars. I don't really remember why, but at the time I didn't feel like it was what it deserved. I, again, loved this. This is about Fortuna. She is the last of her kind. She's a nightmare, which is a person who can see your biggest fear and manifest it. So one day she's approached by a fae man, and he says that he can help her find her brother who's been missing for 2 years if they marry each other. And I live for that. That's the only thing I needed. This was so fun. Loved Fortuna. Loved her and Colwith, I think his name is, together. There was a plot twist at the end that shook me, and I'm not easily shook, so I really enjoyed this. I'm excited to get to the next books in this series, so hopefully this year I will get to them. And in the #1 spot of 2022, the best book that I read is Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. I sobbed reading this, okay? We follow Taylor, who every year in summer she used to go to their summer house, but they stopped after something happened. I forgot what it was, but she stopped going for years, and when this book takes place, her dad is dying, so they decide to go one last time to like be with their dad. At the same time, Taylor has like a past with people who live there, a crush and like a best friend, and so she has that to deal with as well. I really loved this. I sobbed. I've said this multiple times. I've sobbed like 20 minutes while finishing this book, and the day after I sobbed again because of this book. This book is just, it's good sad, but also sad. Morgan Matson once again did not fail me. Loved this. This was so good. It is 100% the best book I read in 2022. There's no doubt about it. So those are all the best books that I read. Now let's get to the rant part of this video, which is the worst books that I read. So in 5th place of the worst books, I have 2 books actually. They're the 2 books that I gave a 1.5 star. The first one is called Buck Up Buttercup. Don't know who it's by, don't really care. And the second one is My Big Fake Wedding. Again, don't care who it's by. Those 2 I gave 1.5 stars. Did not enjoy them. I honestly don't even remember them that much. I just remember that the Buck Up Buttercup was about a prissy, studious girl that goes to a house assuming that it's also studious people, but they're not, they're party people, and a guy called Buck. The girl's name was Randy. I remember that because it was also a stupid name. And a guy called Buck that they decide they hate each other. It was not good. It was horrible. And then My Big Fake Wedding was about a girl who wins a competition to get a wedding for cheaper, but she doesn't have anyone to marry, so she decides she wants to find quickly somebody to marry, and it was just stupid. I hated both of these. I honestly will forget about them in like a year, will not remember what they're about, but they were just not good. In 4th place, we have The Sea Became Restless, don't remember who it's by, which I gave a 1 star. It is about a girl who kind of lives in a cult on a ship, and she can never leave the ship, and it's like, I don't remember what it's called. I think it's moored. Is that what you call it when a ship is like parked? I don't remember what it is, but it's like parked outside of a town, and so one day there's a party going on at the beach, and she saves a guy who fell in the water. And so she starts like escaping, kind of Ariel retelling Little Mermaid vibes, you know, but there's no mermaids. It was not good. I did not like the culty thing. The romance was not even good. It was just not good. It's also another book that I will probably forget about soon because it's not memorable and I didn't like it, so my brain decides it's not worth keeping that information, you know? Yeah, it was just not for me. Even the writing style was weird. I remember there being like a Morse code gimmick, but there wasn't like a Morse code. I also read an ARC, so probably the book actually has a Morse code, like, what do you call it? Like, so it says what letter is what Morse code thing, but like me reading it, I was like Googling what the Morse code thing meant, and it was just stupid. I didn't like it. Moving on, rant is over. In third is a actual physical book, and it's not that it's like a 1-star or something, it's just it really disappointed me, and this goes for the next book as well. And it's Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. The past 2 books that I've read by Nicola Yoon, which are Everything Everything and The Sun Is Also a Star, I loved them. One of them is my favorite books, the second one. But this just disappointed me. I ended up giving it a 3-star, but like it could have gotten a 1, honestly. I just did not like the way this book was done. It could have been like much better if the ending was different, and like, I don't know. I just really disliked the ending, and I was really disappointed because this was like a new release from my favorite author, one of them. So I was really sad about that, but it is what it is. I was just really sad that this didn't work for me. Yeah. In second place is another disappointing book, which is A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Brigid Kemmerer, which is the last book in the Cursebreakers trilogy. I didn't love the first 2 books. I really liked them. They were like a 4 and a 4.5, I think. So I was really excited to read this. I buddy read this with my friend, and this was just so disappointing and bad. I gave it a 2-star. It was the worst like ending of a book that I liked, and it was, the 3 books were in my 5-star predictions, so already was disappointing that the first 2 weren't a 5, but the fact that this was a 2, no. I really hated the ending of this. That's a trend. I hated the ending of this. It was just bad. I did not like it. There's a trope in there that I did not like as well. For the entirety of the series, I preferred the main character Harper with Gray, but that did not happen. She was with Ren, and Ren is just a shit character, and I did not like their relationship, so I was just over it at this point, the romance. And then Gray has a romance with somebody else, and that just also was okay. I don't know. I'm disappointed that this was not good. And the worst book of 2022 is Imperfect Angel by I Don't Give a Shit. I'm getting heart palpitations just thinking about it. It was so bad. It is about this girl, I think her name's like Maisie or something, and she inherits a key from an uncle she didn't know she had. Right, great. Already great start. And at the same time, we follow another character, which is Reese, I don't know. And he is a Nephilim, and he is trying to get that key because it is the key to hell, one of the keys to hell or whatever. And so he decides he needs to protect her, and him and his gang of 3 Nephilim, they're gonna protect the girl. It was the dumbest, stupidest book I've ever read. I regret asking for it because it was an ARC. The 2 main characters are so idiotic, stupid, childish, even though they're 30 and 1,000 years old. No, like 80. He said he was like 80 years old, but he looks 30, whatever. The things that happened were bad. The romance was not good. The smut was the most horrifying thing ever. I'll leave the sentence that I'm thinking about on the screen. Jail. I don't know. It was just horrifying. Bad. Hated it. No. Those were all the books that I hated and loved in 2022. I'm kind of sad that I don't have more books that I loved, but like, I feel like this is normal for me. Hopefully this year I'll get more books that I like and less books that I hate, because hating books is miserable. Fun fact. If I hated anything that you enjoyed, I'm really sorry. I fucking hated that shit. But those were all the books that I wanted to talk about today. I highly recommend that you only read these, but if you want to try these, good luck. But that is everything for today, and I'll see you in my next weird video. Bye!